All right, good morning, class. How is everyone doing today?
Good.
Good, awesome. We're having a good Monday?
Yeah.
So if you guys remember last week, we started reading the We Are Ship book. We should have finished it last Friday. Everyone was here last Friday to finish the book?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so today we're going to do a little activity about this book. So I'm going to have the boys stand up and go over here, and then the girls are going to stand up and go over on this side. All right, now pretend. Put your pretend caps on. Everyone got your pretend caps on? There we go. Awesome. I love all your pretend caps. Okay, so this is the 1960s, and we want to play a good old-fashioned game of baseball. Everyone want to play baseball? Yeah. Beautiful swings. All right, everyone. But the only problem is the boys cannot play baseball.
What?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Okay. So the girls can play baseball. Okay. They're gonna have a good time and they're gonna play baseball. All right. Game's over. It's been played. Now you guys come back and talk to a person of the opposite gender. Just raise your hand. Find someone of the opposite gender. Give them a high five. Alrighty. Now you guys are going to tell each other, how do you feel? How does this make you feel? Boys first. You cannot play. How does this make you guys feel?
Well, baseball's my favorite sport, so I'm a little upset that I can't play and that you can, because you're probably really bad. I'm really good.
Well, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't play. I'm excited to get to play, but I also feel bad that you can't.
Okay, all right. So now the roles are switched. Boys, only you can play baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it down, everyone. Inside voices. Okay. All right, so now tell each other, how does that make you feel? Now that, from the perspective of being able to play and not being able to play, what's the difference in those?
Well, now I can play, so I'm excited.
That's unfair.
But I was also sad earlier because I couldn't play. Now I can.
That's true. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair.
Okay, all right. Abby, what did we talk about?
Well, I talked about how it was unfair that I didn't get to play when I was able to play before, and I didn't like that.
Right. And Whitney, how did that make you feel?
At first I was excited when I was able to play, but then when I wasn't, I thought it was really unfair.
Right. So this is exactly what we saw happening in our We Are Ship book. Is that? Oh, you guys can all have a seat. Thank you. All right, we're all seated. All right. Okay. Alrighty. Active listening, everyone. All right. Eyes up here. Thank you. All right. Okay. So this is what we saw happening in our book, We Are the Ship, is that there was a group of people based on their skin color that they were unable to play. It's something that they didn't choose to happen, like being male or female, and they just got discriminated from it, and we can see that this is, obviously, if it made us feel bad, we know that it made them feel bad as well. Alrighty. Alright, now we're going to start our partner reading. So with the partner sitting next to you, we're going to have a partner 1 and a partner 2. So go ahead, quickly decide who's going to be partner 1 and who's going to be partner 2. 1, 2, okay. Awesome, partner 1, we're just going to be reading page 1 of the book, and then you're going to switch off. Partner 2 is going to be reading page 2, and then partner 1, you're going back to page 3, and then partner 2, we're going to skip over page 5 and go to page 9. So there's some pictures, you guys can talk about them if you'd like. Alright, so partner number 1, what are you guys reading?
1 and 3.
Awesome. Okay, and partner number 2, what are we reading?
2 and 9.
Awesome, okay. Let's get started.
Right. Seems like we've been playing baseball for a mighty long time, at least as long as we've been free. Baseball's the best game there ever was. It's a beautifully designed game that requires a quick wit, a strong body, and a cool head. They say baseball was invented by a fellow named Abner Doubleday in Cooperstown, New York, back in the mid-1800s, but that is just another tall tale, because no one really knows for sure. But one thing is for sure, soon after that you could find a baseball game being played just about everywhere in this grand old country of ours, particularly in the big cities like New York and Chicago. People of all types loved to play and watch the game. Irish, Italian, German, Cuban, Puerto Rican, African American, but back when they were called Negro or colored. Every neighborhood and every town had a team, and they would all play one another. Before long, they were professional teams and organized leagues. In the mid-1860s, most professional baseball teams had only white ball players. There were a number of Negroes who did play, though they weren't treated any better than most Negroes in the country at the time. Truth is, those poor fellows were treated downright disgracefully. They were called just about every horrible name in the book, and then some. Several teams wouldn't play another team if it had a Negro on the roster, and in some states, Negroes weren't allowed to play at all. When we did play, we got the wrong directions from our manager and were targets for opposing pitchers and base runners, which was a dangerous thing, because back in those days, no one wore any type of protective gear, not even the catcher. Well, that was until Bud Fuller, the first Negro to play professional baseball, came along.
Too many times he was forced to leave the field on crutches after being spiked by a base runner. Now this was a terrible thing, but some good thing came out of it. His scarred shins gave him the idea to attach wooden stays to the barrel of his legs for protection. They were the first shin guards and first protective
Part of two should have started their reading by now.
in baseball. They just about saved his legs and his baseball career, or what was left of it anyways. And don't you know that those white fellows tried like the Dickens to break those shin guards? It just gave them a little more ambition to slide feet first when a Negro was covering the base. Despite the cruel treatment Negroes received, there were a few who became quite good baseball players, like brothers Welday and Moses Fleetwood Walker, Charlie Grant, Pete Hill, Sol White, Grant Home Run Johnson, Ben Taylor, and Frank Grant. These fellows were great baseball players by any measure, but none of them mattered because they were still Negroes, and most white baseball players didn't want to play alongside of them. In the late 1800s, Negroes began to disappear from professional baseball teams and were soon gone from them altogether. Now, there was never any written rule that prohibited Negroes from playing professional baseball, but soon after 1887, somehow Negroes all over couldn't get on a professional baseball team. Come to find out, all the white owners had gotten together in secret and decided to do away with Negroes in professional baseball.
They agreed not to add any more to their teams and to let go of the ones they had, called it a gentleman's agreement. And I'll tell you this, the white pro ball club owners held to that agreement for almost 60 years. So what were we Negroes left to do? We loved to play baseball, and a lot of guys had genuine talent. Sure, we could play against small semi-pro teams which paid little, if at all, or swallow our pride and get a job working in some factory, but who wanted to do that? Especially after tasting the fruits of what professional baseball had to offer. We had no choice but to start our own professional teams, our own leagues, and that's just what we did. In the early 1900s, there were many Negro baseball teams all over the Northeast and the South. Soon after the great migration of Negroes from the southern states to northern cities during the 20s, Negro baseball began to grow. Negroes tried several teams to organize the professional leagues, but they never lasted long because they didn't have the money of the leadership and came war.
It was after the success with the American Giants that Rube decided to organize an entire Negro
Alright,
baseball
we should
league.
be on our last page now, everyone. Should be on our last page.
Rube aimed high. He wanted to create a league that would exhibit a professional level of play equal to or better than the majors, so that when it came time to integrate professional baseball, Negroes would be ready. See, Rube didn't want to put just one or two Negroes in the major leagues. He wanted to put a whole league into the major leagues. There would be an American League, a National League, and a Negro League. Rube knew that if Negroes were to play in a professional league, we'd have to organize it ourselves. "We are the ship," he proudly declared, "all else at sea." On February 20th, 1920, Rube called together all the owners of black baseball teams in the Midwest. They agreed to set rules that the league would follow, rules that would stop players' raids between teams and police the players' conduct on and off the field. The name of this league, the Negro National League. It had 8 teams: the Cuban Stars, Detroit Stars, Chicago American Giants, the Chicago Giants, Kansas City Monarchs, the St. Louis Stars and the Indianapolis ABCs, and the Dayton Marcos. Rube's league was home to the great players like Oscar Charleston, Cyclone, or Smokey Joe Williams, Ben Taylor, Cannonball, Dick Redding, and John Henry Pop Floyd. Rube took it upon himself to keep the league going. If a team wasn't doing well, he would help them out with a little cash. If there was a dispute between a player and owner, he would help settle it. He gave black baseball dignity and set the standard for things to come. His league was so successful that a group of white owners of independent Negro teams formed a rival league against their own, the Eastern Colored League, just a few years after Rube started his. The pennant winners from each league met with the Colored World Series at the end of the season.
Alrighty, class.
Yes.
Alright, were y'all finished reading?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And how did everyone like it?
That's good.
So I'm going to be going over your assignment. As you guys know, we have been working on this book for about a week now, and we're having our big final assessment for you guys, and it's going to be a timeline. Everyone knows what a timeline is? Okay, awesome. So the main points that we're going to be needing in this timeline is you're going to need 5 events to put in from the 1800s to February 20th of 1920. So you're going to need at least one from this year in specific 1887 here, which you can find in your book, and then a year from the 60s. And just, you guys have any questions on that, just let me know. And then we have the rubric right up here. If you guys have any questions on that, please let me know. But we're going to be getting our supplies now, and then yeah, we'll get started on that. Thank you guys.